Making sure. Hey, so how's everybody doing? I'm doing up some little different tonight. I'm gonna make me have some tea though. Definitely making my tea. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna deal with the meat because we really need to. And I'm gonna have to put what's left into another container. So with this stuff, it's already pre-seasoned. This is like the stuff that I turn around and I get over the Mexican market on a regular basis. I love their meat. I love how they make it. I love how they do their seasonings on things, and I use that. I am making up some pork butt. So I'm doing this. I got quite a bit. I'm going to make up a dish tonight. I've got some cabbage, just kind of something on the fly. Still got to get rid of the stuff out of the fridge, you know. So I'm going to try and put in about a pound. I bought 5 pounds of this. So I made a salad last night, and it's I'm probably going to add in some garlic to it. And then I've got a bunch of roasted onions that I did. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this up. I want to strain it out and put it into another container for the time being. I gotta cut up my cabbage. I'm gonna let the meat simmer and just go. I'll move the camera back over to where I've had it over here where it works better for me, above. Alright, so we're gonna put cabbage up in there. Once that's done, I'm gonna take it out and the meat, and I will strain it, drain it, whatever you want to call it. And at that point, then I'm going to add the cabbage and some onions to it. Cook those up real nicely. And in a little bit, I'm going to get me a drink because I've got my tea and I got my lemon water. But I'm going to want something a little stronger. It's my day off. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad. Tonight we're doing this. I am looking at possibly if I've cleared out the fridge enough. If I've cleared out the fridge enough by tomorrow, then I'm going to do some other stuff. So, there we go with the onion. And I've got some other stuff that I'm putting in. Stuff I've never used. I'm just experimenting. I do need to figure out what kind of plant this comes from, but it was in the produce, so it means it's edible. And it tastes amazing. So I'm like, well, we can do this. This is roasted onions and garlic that I made, and I'm going to chop up a little bit of that to put in it, not a lot, because it has a different taste to it. It's a little stronger, which is fine, I don't mind. Now this is pork, so I gotta make sure it's getting cooked. I don't want to take it out too soon. Looks like it's pretty much where I need it. Alright, so now I need to bring this over. We're going to, where's the garlic? We're going to put garlic in it. Screw it. I like my garlic, can you tell? The onion and the cabbage. I want to start this and putting all of these herbs in it too, by the way. I should have put those in first, but it doesn't matter. We'll get that down in there. We are putting the lid on it. Gonna let it go. Now we're waiting for this to simmer a minute. Now, because of how I did it, I didn't do a saute on it or anything like that. All I did was make it so that it's just cooking down in, and that's good because it will bring everything together slowly, but it also gives it the flavor of the meat, the liquid that came off of the meat, which again is something you want. Okay, we need to use them now. They really need to be used. So we're adding a little bit to this, not a lot, because the flavors could be overwhelming to it, and I don't want it to overwhelm what I'm doing with cabbage and the meat. Good, you know. So it's out. Oh my goodness, it's getting a nice color too. Very, very nice. Alright, so now I'm going to put this in. Because I can smell everything in it. The herbs, I mean, just wow. All of it. It smells amazing. See, look at that. I mean, that looks good. So now I'm just waiting for it to get a little more of that color. And then we're going to add the meat to it. I got to cook it down more. I need it cooked down a lot more. So I'm going to add part of the meat, probably all of it. Here's the meat. All right, and that, it came pre-seasoned, which is why I buy over there. They have it pre-seasoned in their that Mexican market, and it's always good meat. I love their meat. All right, so we're gonna add a little more liquid to this because I do need a little more liquid in it, and I'm gonna let it stew up a bit. Then I will add the butter and the heavy cream to it. And, you know, it's what I do. So, anyway, and like I said, this is kind of on the fly. I'm just doing my own thing. And if it turns out, it turns out. Then I write it down. I do it that way. I'm a crazy cook. I love cooking, though. Alright, so these are going to get stuffed. That's all these are going to get is stuffed. I don't need anything else. I was going to do bacon. I'm not because I want to do the bacon on the jalapeno ones. Not these. Now let me explain a few things because I have been doing keto on and off for a couple of years, okay? And I've been very hyper aware of where my health is, and I've been doing things to fix it. So that's been a big deal for me. I am diabetic, and I'm trying to reverse that. And diabetes is reversible. And so, you know, and the doctors are now realizing that it is reversible. And by the way, I'm putting these in here because I'm going to actually put them in the oven for a little bit. All right, looks like it's about ready for me to put the butter and the cream in it. So we're going to add the butter to it next. Maybe I'll just add the rest of this to it too. Alright, so let's cut up the butter. We're going to put it in. So the butter is going in. We're going to let that cook down. I'll add the cream in a little bit. I'm not adding it yet. Let's do that first. Alright, so this is going to go in. Alright. I'm just doing that because when I put those, I'm putting parchment paper over the stuffed peppers, and when I put them in, I'm really not going to put them in for very long. They're only going to go in for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I never come up with names for what I make. I just make. But let that simmer a little more. Here's my little bowls. Let's use that for a second. 1 second. So we're going to do this a second. I want to see what it's doing. Ooh! Alright, so let's put that in there as well. Let's look at that. Look at that. That looks good. Oh my gosh, that turned out so good. Alright. That is yummy tasting. Wow.